Oh my goodness. Have you ever seen something and you know right away who you want to give it to? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
We have a book here called The Presidents and the Pastime, the history of baseball and the White House. So I have a friend in New York who's, oh my gosh, he lives and dies by the Mets. Right now he hates them, but he loves them.
I know.
Right now
hate.
it's a love-hate relationship right now with them. But
Yeah.
ever since we were kids, he's been a Mets fan, and he's also been one of these guys that always paid attention to not to politics necessarily, but to like the presidency. So this is right up his alley. I had no idea some of the things historically, the connections between baseball and the presidents, until looking at the book written by Curt Smith. Curt, by the way, is as famous as you can get in this business of radio. Where do I begin with him? I have here, he's an Associated Press award-winning radio commentator, a Gatehouse media columnist, the host of the Voices of the Game series at the Smithsonian Institution and the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Doesn't get any better than that. He's a senior lecturer of English at the University of Rochester, and he's the author of the Voices of the Game. And this book, however, is called The Presidents and the Pastime. Curt Smith, it's an honor to say hello to you. Good morning, sir.
Well, Robin and Larry, good morning to you.
Where
Good to
are
be
you?
with you?
Where are you calling from?
In upstate New York, Rochester, where I teach at the University of Rochester.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the friend I'm referring to is a Mets fan, and I think everybody on that block, this is New York, so everything's referred to in blocks, everybody is a Mets fan. But you go one block down, they could be a Boston Red Sox fan. It's not because it's
Right.
in New York. Have you discovered this too about the? I don't know if it's just an urban
have.
thing. Yeah.
Right. First of all, my condolence to the block that's a Mets fan. That kind of year. I, however, am a Red Sox fan, and I say that not simply because they have the best record in baseball, but I was with them, trust me, when they had this habit of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory with a surrealistic bent. So, and I've got the scar tissue to prove it.
So you're not
yes,
a fair weather
I
fan.
hope your Mets fan enjoys the book.
I think he will.
I'm sure he will. So tell me about the history, because I never knew, for example, that Abraham Lincoln even was interested in baseball.
I don't know whether he was a Red Sox fan or a Mets fan. Actually, he was probably a Red Sox fan because they won the war between the states. No, you're right. I mean, these are our two institutions, really, the presidency and baseball, and they really do go back to the beginning of the republic. I mean, these are ours. They originated here, and the book begins with George Washington, aptly enough, before he became president, when he was still general at Valley Forge. 78, during that awful winter when he was cooped up and the colonial army couldn't go anywhere, so he was playing rounders, which was a British antecedent of baseball, and he was playing it for hours with his aide-de-camp. And then we segue to Abraham Lincoln in the early 1860s, when he was playing town ball, another name for baseball, outside the White House on the White Lot, which we know today is the Ellipse. And then he would take baseball inside the White House, and he would play in the corridors. He would use the corridors as the base path. And gave him, I hope at least, some relief during the solemnity and severity of the Civil War. So really the history of baseball is tied umbilically to the presidency, and it gave me at least a great deal to write about.
Is the relationship between the president and baseball ever forced? In other words, do they feel obligated but they're not really a fan?
Well, only in one case, and it's a very vivid case. Theodore Roosevelt, who was president from 1901 through 9, and we know him as this virile president, the man who charged up San Juan Hill and sent the Great White Fleet around the world and forged this militaristic policy. He loved games. He loved sports as long as they gave you violence and gore and possibly death. When baseball batted 0-0-0, it gave him 0 for 3.
Oh my
He
God.
hated it. He loathed it. But the problem was it was monumentally popular, so he could not say so. He literally feared being thrown out of office if he expressed his loathing. So he kept quiet. He didn't express a syllable of his contempt for the game. And it was the one thing in his life which defeated him, was baseball.
Is that right? You know, it's almost like his era, the baseball that was happening during Teddy Roosevelt's time, is the time that any baseball fan wishes they could go back to. If they had a time machine and you could go back just for one game, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was a scrapping, brawling era, and yet it wasn't scrapping and brawling enough for TR. But he was succeeded by
Right.
William Howard Taft,
Right.
a rather big act followed, all 300 pounds of him, and William Howard Taft inaugurated the relic that endures to today, and that is the president throwing out the first ball to begin the baseball season. And he loved the game. And he, in the 1880s, Taft wanted to be a big league baseball pitcher. He was an amateur pitcher. He had to settle for being president, but he loved throwing out the first ball. He was the only president ever to see a game in both Major League on the same day. And he was voted in 1962 by the Sporting News as the greatest fan ever to be president of the United States. I think there might be a recount today, but at least at that time, he was voted number one.
You also bring music into the mix. You also talk about Carter and then Paul Simon's song Mother and Child Reunion.
I do. Well, we love our high culture.
Yes, exactly.
And that was certainly true of Jimmy Carter. His wife, his mother, rather, Lillian Carter, was an extraordinary Wonder Woman. She was a Renaissance woman before her time, and she taught Jimmy Carter baseball. She was born 92 miles away from where Jackie Robinson was born. She was a fan of the Brooklyn Dodgers, and she and her husband, Jimmy Carter's parents, every year when the peanut crop was finished in rural Georgia, they would get in their car and they would drive hundreds and in many cases thousands of miles to a different major league city in the north. One year they would go to Brooklyn, for example, and stay in a hotel room and spend 2 weeks and go to a Brooklyn Dodgers homestand. And the next year they would go to Chicago and see a Cubs homestand. And the next year to Detroit for a Tigers homestand. And over 13 years, they saw every team in Major League Baseball for an entire homestand. I have never in my life heard of such a baseball odyssey. It's a baseball lover's dream.
Oh my
and from
gosh.
this, Jimmy Carter inhaled an almost messianic love of the game. An extraordinary story, entirely new to me. This is one of the research
That's
items
awesome.
that a baseball writer or any kind of writer dreams of when he begins a book.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. We were just looking at a clip of Donald Trump throwing a first pitch. I think it was a Cubs game. And
Yes.
he looks like he's really loving it. I mean, he's eating that up,
He
right?
loves it, but he hasn't shown up for either one of the first opening days of the Washington Nationals.
And what is the reason
He
behind it?
do
What is
that.
that? Yeah, isn't there a political reason or something?
Well, I think he's afraid of being booed. That's simply my supposition.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
he's a great fan of baseball. He was such a good player in the as a teenager that both the Phillies and my team, the Red Sox, wanted to sign him.
Wow.
He's been a major league player. And before becoming president, he threw out the first pitch at Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, and Wrigley Field. But in his first 2 years as president, he has not opened either of the Washington Nationals' first 2 seasons at Nationals Park. I think because he is leery of being booed by the overwhelmingly Democratic crowd in Democratic Washington. Just a guess, but nothing else makes sense.
Wow, what a shame.
By the way, I often think that James Taylor, the singer, is actually a reincarnation of Abraham Lincoln.
Now, this I did not get into.
but he did a great song, "Angels of Fenway," and right. I mean, remember
Yes.
the name, right?
I do. Yes. Well, the Red Sox are the creative communities team. I mean, let's be honest.
In our area, we have Tampa Rays baseball, and now they're entertaining a new stadium in another part of
They
the
need one.
Tampa City.
They need one.
But they're downsizing it. They say baseball has become too commercial, and they want to make it more intimate.
Well, they do, and they're right. but they need a new park badly.
That's funny.
There you go.
That's funny. Well, you're not alone in that opinion. Well, this is fun. So let's see. The book is called "The Presidents and the Pastime," and I found it on Amazon. Are you enjoying this? I mean, you're such a radio legend as well. Are you enjoying the book part of what you're doing? You've written like 19 books, right?
You know, it's yes. I mean, you need to do the tour, but I enjoy the tour because you're talking about something that you love with people who share this common love, and so it's not really work. It's not. And so I enjoy it. I truly do. And you hope that you've done it well. And I get a kick out of the fact that no one had done a book like this before.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
So I hope I filled a void.
Yeah. The Presidents and the Pastime. Curt Smith, what an honor. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
You are welcome. We'll be right back.
Say something that's done.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. President Trump dismissing an interview with The Sun in which he said critical things about the British Prime Minister.
There was a story that was done, which was, generally fine, but it didn't put in what I said about the Prime Minister, and I said tremendous things.
Standing with Theresa May after meetings at her estate outside London. Across London, tens of thousands turning out to protest the president's visit.
I know this won't do much, but we've got to stand up and be counted.
Protesters launching a large balloon outside Parliament here, depicting President Trump as an orange, angry baby.
Fox's Simon Owen. The Inspector General says the president's ousted Health Secretary Tom Price wasted more than $340,000 on travel, and a Houston woman accused of offering up her 2-year-old daughter for sex in exchange for $1,200, sentenced to 40 years in prison. Fox News, we report, you decide.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
You've got lots of engines in your life. Cars, yard equipment, ATVs, motorcycles, watercraft, you name it. And they all use fuel and oil. These same fluids that make your engine run also create deposits that reduce performance and gas mileage. Gum Out Multi-System Tune-Up removes these gummy carbon deposits and stabilizes fuel and oil, helping restore performance and fuel economy. Buy one Multi-System Tune-Up at Advanced Auto Parts today and get a carbon choke cleaner free. Gum Out. Science in, performance out.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for free. Time to call me at 352-528-0020. Are you ready to hum along? Call 352-528-0020.
These warm July days mean it's summer blowout time at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. As temps go up, prices go down. And that means it's best to get there early in the day. Check out these fabulous summer blowout deals. Those super popular variegated dogwood azaleas, regularly $7.99, but this week you get 10 for $25. Then don't forget about the buy one, get one on crepe myrtles. All crepe myrtles, all sizes, all colors, all prices. They're all on BOGO. The larger ones are delivered, planted, and guaranteed buy one, get one free. All shade trees, a huge selection. Buy one, get one half price. That's just the beginning. Check this week's ad for all the savings at BobWinesCameliaGardens.net. Bob Wines is on Southeast 38th Street, daily 9 to 4:30, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Is the
internet driving business to your business? Hi, I'm Michael Warren with Brick City Interactive. At Brick City, we've been putting the web to work for businesses since 1998. We want to help you too, whether you're a real estate office, law office, medical office, manufacturer, retailer, a church, even a radio station like WOCA. We love to help businesses grow, and we have the knowledge and experience to make it happen. We offer professional, affordable web design, mobile responsive websites, search engine optimization, social media marketing, web video and promotions, online advertising, and more. Whether it's time for a redesign or whether you want to kickstart your existing website, let us help. Mention WOCA and we'll give you a free, no-obligation search engine optimization report for your website. This free report will give you practical steps to increase your search ranking. It's our gift to you from Brick City Interactive. Call us today at 352-351-1131 or visit us online at brickcity.com.
Here are today's headlines from The Source, WOCA. Republican Adam Putnam is traveling to one of Florida's top military cities to announce policy proposals for veterans if he's elected Florida governor. The Friday announcement in Jacksonville also happens to be just north of the district represented by U.S. Representative Ron DeSantis, a former Navy officer and Putnam's opponent for the GOP nomination. Putnam is releasing a 4-page policy paper on proposals for veterans and to help military bases in Florida. They include expanding nursing home beds, keeping development from encroaching on bases, and more than doubling the number of veteran courts, which provide diversion programs for veterans charged with crimes and help them with mental health and drug abuse treatment. Other proposals including creating new programs to reimburse veterans for college entrance exam preparation and to let them assign any unused tuition benefits to their children. Florida authorities say the body of a 61-year-old diver reported missing has been found. News outlets report James E. Little's body was found in the Gulf of Mexico yesterday afternoon. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office spokeswoman Caitlin Perez says Little was reported missing yesterday morning. He had been diving near Manasota Key with 2 friends. A department release says multiple agencies assisted in the search, including the Coast Guard, Venice Fire and Police Departments, and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. It says Little's cause of death is pending an autopsy by a medical examiner. The investigation into his death is ongoing. Florida Governor Rick Scott signed an executive order yesterday responding to confusion over a new Florida law, and he's making it clear that it does not make public beaches private. A law that went into effect July 1st makes clear the process local governments have to follow in order to allow public access to otherwise privately owned beaches. It does not change beach ownership, though it did void a beach access ordinance passed in Walton County in the Western Panhandle. He said because Floridians and our visitors deserve to have access to our world-class beaches and property owners deserve to have their property rights respected, it is critical that there be no room for confusion regarding access to public beaches in Florida. Scott wrote that in the order. In Florida, many homeowners own the sand down to the average high water line, although some counties have passed local ordinance that let the public use otherwise private beaches for sunbathing, fishing, and walking if people have historically had access for those purposes. A lawsuit to prevent Floridians from voting on Amendment 8 in November, attorney Ron Meyer filed the challenge on behalf of the League of Women Voters.
The revision itself is unintelligible. What the complaint alleges is that the summary that will appear before the voters misleads and fails to inform the voter of what the chief purpose is.
Proposition 8 would allow outside groups to set up charter schools even if the local school district doesn't want them. Meyer says they tried to disguise the real intent by cloaking the charter language with popular ideas like mandatory civics education and term limits for school board members. A statewide public safety commission established after the Parkland shooting has met for a third day in Broward County. It is headed by Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri. He told commission members the system may have failed Parkland shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz, but so did his mother, who enabled him when he wanted to buy a firearm.
He was already 18. So it wouldn't be child neglect because he was 18. And what his mother facilitated was him obtaining a state ID card so that he could then go purchase the firearm.
17 students and faculty were killed when investigators say crews entered the campus as the school day was ending February 14th and opened fire. The commission will meet again next month. Liberal groups in Florida are calling on Senators Bill Nelson and Marco Rubio to reject President Trump's nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court.
Missy Wesolowski with Planned Parenthood of Florida says reproductive rights are at risk if Brett Kavanaugh is confirmed to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Judge Kavanaugh hasn't just ruled to limit access to abortion, he's also ruled against women's access to birth control. Make no mistake about it, the right to access abortion safely and legally in this country is absolutely on the line.
And it's not just reproductive rights. Wesolowski says your health care could be jeopardized because Judge Kavanaugh has already issued one ruling that says the president can ignore the law that created the Affordable Care Act. Rick Flagg, Tallahassee.
Water releases from Lake Okeechobee toward both Florida coasts will resume today amid political backlash and a toxic algae bloom. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers flushes water from the lake to reduce pressure on its aging dike. In a statement yesterday, Colonel Jason Curt said Okeechobee's rising water levels pose a major flood risk to nearby communities. Coastal communities say the discharges spread toxic algae, threatening tourism and health. Senate and gubernatorial candidates in both parties have made the discharges a campaign issue in a crucial election year. The Trump administration has approved a new Everglades reservoir to store more water south from the lake, but Congress must approve those plans. Governor Rick Scott issued an emergency order on Monday, giving state agencies more resources to respond to the algae. A Florida man told a law enforcement officer who pulled him over that he was taking swigs of bourbon only when he stopped at traffic lights and stop signs. So he technically was not drinking and driving. Indian River County Sheriff's deputies still arrested 69-year-old Earl Stevens Jr. on June 27th amid charges of DUI and driving without a license. TC Palm News Agency reports that Stevens told investigators he's never had a valid driver's license in Florida. An arrest affidavit says Stevens smelled of booze. He told them he felt pretty good and that he wasn't drinking while the car was moving. Deputies were initially called to a report of a disturbance at a McDonald's restaurant where a woman said Stevens' vehicle kept striking her rear bumper in the drive-through lane. And a problem with the cooling system left several Disney Hollywood Studios rides shut down yesterday. The My Disney Experience app showed most of the rides were back open around 8:30 p.m. A Disney World spokesperson said the air conditioning systems were down and affecting parts of the park. The spokesperson said some attractions and food and beverage locations were also affected, but Disney was working to get the system back online. A look at the My Disney Experience app showed only a few attractions open around 6:30 yesterday evening, including Muppet Vision 3D, the Star Wars Launch Bay, and The Incredibles 2 sneak peek. And those are your headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
The weather is brought to you by myFWC.com. Safe boating is no accident. On Friday, clouds and sun with a thunderstorm around in the afternoon. Highs 90 to 93 degrees. For Friday night, partly cloudy, lows 73 to 77. Then some sunshine as we get into Saturday as well. Thunderstorm in the afternoon or evening on Saturday as we get to a high of 90 to 93. Could be a pop-up thunderstorm again Sunday, partly sunny otherwise with highs 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Courtney Spamer.
You're thinking about selling your home, but where do you start? Easy. Call Angie at 352-361-8359. Angie works with you to get your home sold. Angie is more than just an agent with Roberts Real Estate. She's a pro with heart. Call her at 352-361-8359, and you will know you have the right person.
I'm Angie Umpleby, and I'm looking forward to working with you when you call me at 352-361-8359. That's 352-361-8359.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you. Insurance needs got you worried? Clifford Insurance has you covered with over 25 premium carriers. Family owned and operated with 200 years plus of combined experience. Call them today, 352-245-5455. Clifford Insurance has the expertise you and your family deserves.
Give me, Alicia Clifford, a call today for a free quote at 352-245-5455. Celebrating a popular and tasty fried treat made of potatoes. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
AgPro will get you equipped for anything with a John Deere 5045E utility tractor. At only $159 per month, you can add the perfect attachment to dig it, plow it, grade it, anything. Request a quote at agproco.com and get equipped for anything. Offer in 7/31/18. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. 20% down payment required. Taxes, freight, setup, and delivery charges could increase monthly payment. See dealer for details.
Attention farmers and ranchers. USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service needs your agriculture census returned now. Once every 5 years, the Ag Census provides critical data that represents agriculture and important decisions at local, state, and national levels. Southeast region farmers are widely diversified, so do your part and be counted. Respond to the Census of Agriculture online today. Visit agcensus.usda.gov or call toll-free 888-424-7828.
Friday the 13th is National French Fry Day, and many people will participate by enjoying one of the many varieties of this classic food, and in some cases, restaurants will serve up these offerings absolutely free. French fries, also known as chips, fries, finger chips, or French fried potatoes, are batons of deep-fried potato goodness. They are common fixtures at fast food restaurants that are loved by adults and kids alike. Sweet potatoes make an alternate, healthier offering. Other varieties are baked and come in unusual shapes, such as curls, waffles, crinkle, or tornado cut. It's believed by some that the term French was introduced to the potatoes when the American soldiers arrived in Belgium during World War I and consequently tasted Belgian fries. It's suggested that they called them French as it was the official language of the Belgian army at the time. Celebrate by sharing fries with your friends and have them seasoned, cut, and shaped however you like them. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
The sound of the bat cracking, the crowd cheering, the smell of overpriced but tasty hot dogs, the memories that will last a lifetime of your first baseball game with little Johnny. Your team wins. It was a great night until you get home. It's 9 p.m. and your wife says you have no water.
We have no water.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Rule number 1, don't panic. Remain calm. Okay, that's 2 rules.
We don't have time for jokes, funny man.
Okay, think back. On the way home, you heard a radio commercial.
Mike's Got Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Eureka. You saved the day. You remembered that Mike Scott Plumbing doesn't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. You are a genius.
Hey, Mr. Genius, did you remember the phone number?
Of course you did. Remember, you're a genius. 352-237-2888. Because at Mike Scott Plumbing, if water runs through it, we do it. Even if water's not running through it at this particular moment. Mike Scott Plumbing.
This is an urgent health notice for all residents suffering from back, neck, knee, and wrist pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you, but the deadline is fast approaching. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now.
You heard right. You may qualify for a pain